Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lurd back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the November 24th, 2022 new moon in Sagittarius. Now, there will be a new moon at 2 degrees Sagittarius on November 24th, 2022. Now, a new moon can give a prodigious amount of energy. The energy may be uninhibited and unrestrained. Being in Sagittarius, one may start something with much optimism, exuberance, and enthusiasm. You may feel very rejuvenated at this time. Whatever prohibited you and held you back previously may not do so now. It may be a time to discard what is frivolous or superfluous. This could be a time of new beginnings. New moons are introspective. In this case, what may start out, with the new moon in Sagittarius, can culminate with the full moon in Gemini. Now, for example, what may begin as wanting to get something published, which is Sagittarius, may be completed with written short stories, which is Gemini. Now, what can make this more favorable is the fact it makes at least no major adverse aspects to any other planets. Now, it's also so there's less likelihood of resistance or some kind of obstruction or obstacle in doing this. And now it's also important to look at contraindicators that may impact a person's energy level at the time of this new moon in Sagittarius. Now, for example, if transit Mars or the Sun is in the 12th house of limitations and restrictions, or let's say if transit Neptune is making an adverse aspect to one's natal Sun, Ascendant, or Mars. Now, these transits can modify the new moon energy, and you may have less energy than otherwise indicated. Now, another thing is that this can impact, all collectively, but especially if you have a Sagittarius or Cancer Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. Sagittarius, of course, because it's going to be in their own sign. In the zodiac sign Cancer, because the zodiac sign Cancer is simply very sensitive to all transits and phases of the moon, since the moon rules Cancer, and this may be strongly attributed to why the zodiac sign Cancer is so moody, fickle, and temperamental. The effects can be more intensified if this transit makes a conjunction to one Sagittarius Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. Now, in some instances, this could be the start, of a new Sagittarius position or job. Now, especially if this falls in what I consider one of the money houses in astrology, the second, sixth, or 10th house. It could be the beginning of a position in theology, publishing, advertising, sports, exploration, printing press operation, importing, exporting, college teaching, or the law. And it may simply be where one starts a position with much joviality, exuberance, and enthusiasm. Now, another thing too, some may begin just to be more outdoorsy, more expansive, optimistic, enthusiastic, jocular, jovial, or adventurous. And some may begin to expand their horizons and go outside the box, so to speak. And others may begin to understand that they can really, make their own luck and fortune at this time as well. Now, I want to get at as well, people. Hold on a moment, a second. See what else is going on with this new moon. Now, another thing is, the new moon, is generally auspicious. But, I believe in some instances it could be the start of a Sagittarius health-related matter. And especially if this falls in the first or sixth house in one's natal chart. The first house is connected with the physical body, and the sixth house is associated with physical related health issue, physical health related issues. Now, the thing is, if it's like, it could be the start of a Sagittarius related health matter. Now, it can be, could be something associated with the hips, the sciatic nerve, the liver, or thighs. And since this is just a regular new moon, I don't believe, at least in most cases, it would be anything overly serious. If something were to happen that I just described connected with Sagittarius health related issues. Now, it's also important to look at the house this falls in your natal chart, as this could impact its delineation and interpretation. Now, for me, this is going to fall in my seventh house. Now, this can manifest in a number of ways. For me, it may indicate just the beginning of expanding horizons, which is Sagittarius, in my relationships, which is the seventh house. It could be the start of some sports, which is Sagittarius competition, which is the seventh house, except that it would be hard for me to physically engage in that now. But it could be the beginning, of collaborating, with someone. Collaboration, doing things with others is the seventh house, and could be on a publishing, which is Sagittarius venture. Or maybe it's the beginning of just confronting open adversaries, which is the seventh house, and doing so with those Sagittarius harsh arrows of truth. Now, another thing is that it's also important to look at the aspects. This makes the points in your chart, as this could impact how it affects you. Now, this is going to make a loose conjunction to my natal Neptune and Scorpio in the seventh house. Now, I talked about this being the start of a possible sports competition before. Hold on a moment, people. And just want to say some other things with this. Now, it will be making a loose conjunction to my natal Neptune, and again, the fact that it's hitting Neptune, maybe it's the start of some hypothetical sports competition. Maybe a simulated, hypothetical, sports games or matchups, that may be done on the computer. Could be maybe I embark on fantasy football. Now, this is also going to make a tight inconjunct to my natal Mercury in Cancer in the second house. Now, inconjuncts in astrology can often be about adjustments. It could be too much or too little of something. There may be too much thinking, which is Mercury, about the past, and being despondent over personal issues, which is Cancer. Now, it may also suggest feeling, which is the Moon, over optimistic and enthusiastic regarding expanding horizons and going outside the box, so to speak, which is Sagittarius. Now, the key is, of course, within conjuncts, is to find equilibrium and balance between the two energies. And, it could also be about the mind, which is Mercury, being overly focused on introverted, which is Cancer activities, or wanting to begin, which is the new moon, doing things outdoors, which is Sagittarius, to the exclusion of other things. And again, the key, with all inconjuncts, is that, again, to find equilibrium and balance between the two, because it can indicate too much or too little of something. Now, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying, stay well.